right, we are on lesson 14, which is on word problems. So the first thing we're going to do is this opening exercise. So I'd like you to please pause the video and complete the opening exercise. When you're all set with that, please unpause and check your work. Okay, so it says, what is the formula used to find the circumference of a circle? So C equals pi times diameter is the formula. You can look back in your notes for that. It said, what does the circumference represent? The circumference, remember, is the distance around the circle. And some other words we can use to describe it. So other ways that we're asked to find the circumference: finding the perimeter, the length of the border could be something, the rim of a basketball hoop, the distance of the edges, or just distance around in general. Okay, so those are some of the ways that it could be showing up in a word problem. Number 2 is, what is the formula of the area of a circle? So remember, area equals pi r squared. An area represents the space inside of it. Other words to describe it, we could do just space, square units, and then your units change because it's always going to say, how many inches squared is this? Squared units would tell you that you should be finding area. And maybe the region that is shaded might show up, okay? All right, examples. It says, Pamela bought a new four-wheeler. The radius of one of her wheels is 36 inches. Find the distance the wheel will travel after one rotation. Round your answer to the nearest tenth. All right, so nearest tenth. What is the question asking you to find? So it says, find the distance the wheel will travel. So we're trying to find distance the wheel travels. And I'm getting that right from my sentence. What do you know? Well, we know that the radius of a wheel is 36 inches. So that means that the diameter, I'm going to double it, would be 72 inches. If I'm finding the distance, remember, I have to find the circumference. So circumference equals pi times diameter. So pi times 72. We're rounding to the nearest tenth, so I have to show my decimal first, 226.19466711, which is approximately 226.2 inches. All right, next page. It says, Patimo's Pizza offers a medium pizza with 12-inch diameter for $16 and a large pizza with a 15-inch diameter for $20. If you buy both a medium and large pizza, how many square inches do you have in all to the nearest square inch? Okay, so I've got two different pizzas, a 12-inch pizza and a 15-inch pizza. So this is a medium pizza and a large pizza. And I want the total square inches. So remember, if it's square inches, that's immediately asking me for area. I want to put this over here though. The medium pizza has a diameter of 12, which means that the radius is 6. The large pizza has a diameter of 15, which means that the radius is 7.5. I'm going to plug that into my formula. Area equals pi times 6 squared. So I've got 36 pi. Now, because I have multiple steps to this problem, we are going to always round at the end. So please put a note here that we are going to round at the end after we've done all of our steps. So I'm going to leave that as in terms of pi, so 36 pi. Area equals pi times 7.5 squared. So 56.25 pi. And now, since I want the total, I'm going to be adding them up. So 36 pi plus 56.25 pi, which is going to give me a total of 289.8119, and I'm rounding to the nearest square inch, so that'd be this 9. So approximately 200. I'm going to bump that 9 up to a 10, which means that 8 is going to turn into 90 inches squared. All right, number 3. It says Carly is trying to buy a cover for her round swimming pool. The swimming pool has a radius of 8.25 feet. Part A says how large of a pool cover should she buy so that it covers the entire surface of the pool? Leave your answer in terms of pi. And part B says if Carly wants to put fencing around the pool, how many feet of fencing would she need to the nearest foot? All right, I'm going to let you go ahead and try this one on your own, so please pause the video and give it your best try. When you're all set, unpause and check. All right, if she is buying a cover, she wants to know how much of the pool cover is covering the entire surface of the pool. So we're going to be finding the area. So remember, area equals pi r squared, and it tells us that the radius equals 8.25, which means that the diameter is 16.5. I'm going to plug it in, pi times 8.25 squared. So I'm going to square that, 8.25. I'm going to get a decimal, that's okay, 68.05. And don't forget the pi. We were leaving in terms of pi, so that would be the final answer for this part. If Carly wants to put fencing around the pool, so remember distance around would be circumference, so circumference equals pi times diameter. So my diameter is up above, 16.5. We're rounding to the nearest foot, so let's go ahead and multiply that out. So 51.83, 627.878, which is approximately 52 feet. Okay, next one. It says Robbie bought a new round drum. The diameter of the drum is 62 centimeters. How much space does Robbie have to hit the drum? Round to the nearest hundredth. Okay, I'm going to have you go ahead and try this one on your own again, so please pause the video, try it out. When you're all set, unpause and check. Okay, so since this question is asking how much space, so we're looking for the space on the drum top. And if you ever need to as well, you can always sketch out what the question's saying. So if this is the drum, they want to know how much space he has to hit the drum, which would be the area. So we know that the diameter is 62 centimeters, which means that the radius is 31. So we are going to be finding the area. Area equals pi r squared. Plugging in r, so pi times 31 squared. 961 times pi, and remember rounding to the nearest hundredth. So approximately 3019.074, which when we round should be approximately 3019.1. And this is in centimeters squared. All right, that's all for this lesson. Good luck on your homework.